why I say you're a blockhead, Lowry. How could you let such a thing happen? The man was innocent. What do you think the press are going to say about all this? Now get out of here! Get the hell out of my sight! And if I have any more trouble with you, you'll be dishing out parking tickets before long. And that's a promise, Lowry! Oh, and here's my good friend Halligan. Another one of the invaluable detectives of our glorious murder squad. Don't just stand there gaping. Come in. I'm glad you could make it. After all, you're a busy man, aren't you? Now look here, Detective Halligan. I've got used to being surrounded by a bunch of incompetent, half-baked blockheads. But your smart, well-dressed colleague Lowry has just earned himself the golden badge of stupidity. Halligan, we've got a bit of a problem. We've had an innocent man locked up in jail. Regrettably, he was killed in prison before we could correct our mistake. Unfortunate affair. And now we've got this lunatic killer running around all over London. We have to make sure that at least this oversight is put right. Your clear-up rate so far ought to be sufficient evidence that there's no point in asking you to clear up anything more than a common bicycle theft. But this does happen to be the murder squad. I am the chief of this department. All I have for choice is that blockhead Lowry and you.
Okay, Chief. What do you want me to do? Where did Lowry go wrong?
Your dear colleague Lowry dealt with the skeleton murders last year. You should know that, Halligan. Lowry worked on the case for several months and finally managed to pull a culprit out of the hat. A butcher from South London. A married man with kids. They gave him a life sentence. He was in jail till 3 weeks ago.
Pulled out of the hat, you say? So the butcher didn't do it after all?
Oh, you're a genius, Halligan. He didn't do it. We found that out today.
He didn't do it? How could he be convicted then?
Detective Lowry imaginatively constructed an impressive chain of evidence, and the court followed his arguments in detail. The public wanted somebody to blame, and they found somebody. That's life.
Well, all right, these things happen. But how do you know that the man Lowry arrested didn't commit the murders?
Very simple. Dead people don't go around committing more murders.
There's been another murder.
Exactly, Halligan. A pile of bones has been found in Epping Forest. Supposedly a male corpse. We don't know any more than that. I presume we both agree that it can't have been Lowry's man, eh?
Oh, of course.
You see, I've just managed to get that into Lowry's head as well. You heard it? Lowry's off the case. Halligan, you drive out to Epping Forest and take a look at the evidence.
Of course, sir.
And Halligan, no sloppiness now. I want results. Sensible results. The press has already been terrorizing me this morning. The killer must be found. Do I make myself clear?
Of course, Chief.
Good. This is the file with all the necessary information, and now you'd better get going quickly.
It won't work like that. A matchbox. Still half. I thought it a match. I thought it would. I'd better not light that. I can't. I don't want that. Not a good idea. My case file. I thought it a matchbox. That's futile as well. Not a good idea. There's no point. I should think up something. I thought it wouldn't work like that. Looks like that won't work. Looks like that won't work. I don't need a map. I know my way around London. I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty. I don't need a map. I know my way around London. I'd better not. I'd better not. These files are secret. I'd better not. These files are secret. I'd better not. These files are secret. One copy of the file is enough for me. A matchbox. Still half full. No way. That's futile as well. I really don't want to break. I think Chris needs it. I think Chris needs it. Take it with me? Chris surely wouldn't. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. A matchbox. Still half too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. There's nothing I can do with this. There's nothing I can do. I can't do anything with this. I can't do anything with this. I can't do anything with this. I can't even pronounce the name on the label right. I can't do it. I can't do anything with this. Fingerprint powder. Far too hot to touch. Far too hot to far too hot. If I pull that hose off, the test won't work anymore. If I pull that hose off, the whole of Scotland Yard will blow up. Actually, that's not a bad idea. If I pull that, that's the gas hose for the Bunsen burner. Something is just being distilled there. Something is just being distilled there. A bottle with some sort of chemical. The bottle is full of dust and fingerprints. A bottle with some. The bottle is full of. That's a mortar. That's a mortar. That's a mortar. That's a mortar. Chris is quite a strange guy. What does he like about these pictures? Chris is quite a strange guy. Chris is quite a strange guy. A container with chemicals. A container. I can't do anything. I can't do it. A container. A container with chemicals. I can't do anything. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
Have you heard of the new skeleton murder?
Not only heard, I've already been out to where the body was found, together with the forensic squad.
And? What did you find out?
Not a lot. The killer did a neat job. No traces, no witnesses. This madman doesn't seem to be so stupid at all.
Did you examine the other cases as well, Chris?
Of course.
What do you think these people died of?
It was no natural death, if that's what you mean, Halligan.
I'll just drive out there and have a look at it.
Just you do that, Brent.
Okay, Chris. See you later on. I think Chris needs it. I really don't want to break anything. A rubbish bin. A rubbish bin. You can buy soft drinks for high prices here. You can buy soft drinks for high prices here. A monitor. A monitor. That's the Central Crime Prevention Office. It keeps an eye on flashpoints in the centre of London. That's the Central Crime Prevention Office. It keeps an eye on flashpoints in the centre of London. The printer. The print. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. The files of our department. This is where we keep every single unimportant scrap of it. We'll have to break through the wall soon to make room for more. Forms for obtaining materials, clipboards, paper clips, paper clips, carbon paper. I'll take that with me. You never know, I might need it. Technical documentation for the computers. Hello, Janet.
Hello, Brent.
Nice day today, isn't it?
Don't trouble yourself, Brent. I will not go to the cinema with you.
You think going to the cinema with me is that bad? Okay then, no cinema. Why don't we just go down to the King's pub, have a pint and talk for a bit?
Listen, Brent, I don't feel like going to a stinky cheap pub, drinking watery beer and talking about darts, pizzas and aliens.
Janet, what's up? Has Lowry been talking nonsense about me again?
No, Halligan, and he doesn't need to either. You talk enough of it yourself. And now, please be good enough to let me carry on with my job, okay?
I understand. Lowry has been talking about me, and you believe every word he said.
I believe only what I see, Detective Halligan. And right now, I can see a man right in front of my desk who is wasting my time.
Good. See you later then.
Take your time, Brent.
Of course, it can't work like that. It won't work like that. There's no point. A sheet of carbon paper. Very useful when dealing with Europe. That won't get me. I should think about it. I can't do that. I can't. A matchbox. Still half full. Looks like that won't work. Hello, Mr. Doyle. That is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes. Hello, Mr. Doyle. A matchbox. Still half. The cleaner will empty the ashtray. This is my collection of case files. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. This is my collection of. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. I won't find anything I could make use of now in. I'd better not light that. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the whole of London. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the whole of London. I won't need these books now. The districts of. I won't find anything I could make use. I won't find anything I could make use of. The cleaner will empty the ashtray. My writing desk. I am definitely the only one who can make head or tail of it. Outside you can see the Thames. Outside you can see the Thames. That's a fire. You actually only use it in case of fire. That's a fire. No, there is no fire here. This is Lowry's world. Cars, cars, cars. Books. He's got books. They're Lowry's files. Neatly and tidily filed rubbish. It's amazing he keeps getting away with it. Books. He's got books. They're probably just for show, meant to impress the ladies. go, Lowry.
Oh, no, not you, Halligan. You're all I need at the moment.
It's just not your day, is it?
All the better for you, Halligan. Of course. Your last good day in this department must have been a few months ago. By the way, congratulations on your new case. I can't believe the chief has put a loser like you on it.
The chief has put me on the case because you arrested the wrong man, Lowry. Or had you already forgotten that?
The wrong man? Don't talk nonsense, Halligan. What do you know about it? The man was guilty, a beast. He killed those people and sold their flesh. Prison was far too good a treatment for him.
Well, if that's your opinion, how do you explain the new corpse that was found this morning?
My God, London's a big city. It's a copycat killing. A gang of stupid boys, freaked out junkies, how should I know?
Stupid boys don't go around taking humans to pieces like that, Lowry. There's a killer on the loose. Maybe even several.
Oh, yes, sir, a killer in London. Just as well that we've got our heroic detective Halligan to look after us, isn't it? Protector of widows and orphans, least successful investigator of all time.
I'd rather not solve a case at all than send an innocent man to jail.
That's just your own unique opinion, isn't it, Halligan? Stryker and I did a clean job. The chief can shout about it just as much as he likes, and he'll see how little point there is in passing the case over to you.
Did you never doubt for a second whether you had the right man or not?
Doubt is the virtue of losers. Didn't someone like Shakespeare write that, or was it Plato? Doesn't matter.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry. Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you've had a good breakfast. The sight over there is not very appetizing.
Oh, well, I got used to it. When were the bones discovered?
At 5:30 a.m. by a jogger. He phoned us.
A jogger? Has he been interviewed?
Well, he's in hospital for the time being. The shock, you know. We could hardly even take down his particulars.
Why was that?
He had to throw up several times.
Oh, I understand. Could he have left the bones here?
It's not impossible, but I don't really believe it. He's a tourist and only arrived in London last night. I suppose he came here by accident.
He's a tourist. Since when do tourists jog at 5:30 in the morning? Is he on a fitness trip?
Sir, he told us he was a decathlete. It's his job.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Any time, sir.
The skull of the corpse. Strange. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. You don't transport a piece of evidence in your coat pocket. That might falsify traces. I should take the bone with me, but you don't transport a piece of evidence in your coat pocket. That might falsify traces. No, a sheet of carbon paper. Very useful when dealing with bureaucrats. Looks like my case file. This is my collection of... I won't find anything I could make. This is my collection of case files. I'll take it with me. Maybe I'll give it back to Miss Browning today. I'm determined to give up smoking. Leave those alone. I won't need these books. Good to know that there are intelligent life forms out there. In here, I only meet weirdos like Detective Lowry. Non-smoker within 21 days. John Sinclair, Ghost Hunter. My favorite book, The Sirius Riddle. This book claims that I can stop smoking. My cooking book for single households. Ah, all about darts. A top title. There was a really good DIY description to build dartboards in it. I didn't like that book very much. I wanted to give it to Stryker, but he doesn't read. This is my collection of case files. I won't find anything I could make I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. I'd better leave that here. It doesn't work like that. You don't hear anything, and nothing. I never use the receiver. That's the receiver of the telephone. won't find anything I could make use of now in there. God save the Queen. Even if she's wearing a really ugly green suit. God save the Queen. The green scarf. It's Janet's. I really don't want to break anything. The switchboard. We have 4 lines, but Janet's all on her own at the moment. That's what happens during the holidays. The switchboard. We have 4 lines, but Janet's all on her own at the moment. That's what happens during the holidays. Clipboards. Clipboards. Paper clips. Hello, Janet.
What is it now?
It's me again.
And?
Janet, I need to make a database inquiry at your terminal.
I'm sorry, I need your application for access to information. Form 234-2.
Great. And where do I get that?
Here, of course. There. Take it.
Hey, great. Thanks a lot, Janet.
That's all right. And now you'll leave me alone, won't you?
Good. Thanks a lot, Janet. I have to go.
Okay, Brent. See you later.
That's a form for information procurement.
What am I supposed to do with that, Brent?
It's the 234-2, Janet.
Good. And apart from that,
You said I needed to access information. Here you are. That's it.
right, Brent? I need a 234-2 from you. But of course, it needs to be signed. Did I forget to mention that?
Oh, well,
Brent, you need the signature from the chief. Have you understood that?
Okay. I'll be right back. A sheet of carbon paper. Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Nice day today, isn't it?
Don't trouble yourself, Brent. I will not go to the cinema with you.
Hold on. How did you know that I was going to ask you that, Janet?
Because you asked me the same thing yesterday. And the day before yesterday. Look, I'm not changing my mind. No, thank you. Then just keep that in mind in the future. And then we'll finish our conversation much faster tomorrow.
I actually wanted to ask you something else, Janet. Something professional. Is that okay?
Okay then, ask me. But just keep it short.
I need information.
Of course, Brent. You need information, and I need the necessary forms. More precisely, a signed 234-2. Now, have you got it?
Good. See you later then.
Take your time, Brent.
I need information from the central database. It's about the skeleton murders. But Janet says she needs a signed 223. I've got it with me.
You've got it with you. How nice for you. And do you know something, Halligan? I will not sign it. What do you say to that?
How do you expect me to conduct investigations if you won't allow me to use the database, Chief?
You'll have to get up off your backside and do your own work, Halligan. I feel much more comfortable knowing that you and Lowry can't get up to any more nonsense with the confidential data stored in our database.
Of course, Chief. Thanks a lot.
Don't get stroppy, Halligan.
That's a form for information procurement. I'd better not. All our files are stored in there. It's always handy having one of these tucked away. We ran out not so long ago, and there was a big commotion on this floor. That's a form for stationery procurement. Without that, you don't get anything at Scotland Yard. At least that's one thing you can get hold of here without too much trouble. They are needed for the forms. Makes it easier for the chief to sign them. That's a clipboard. That's a form for stationery procurement. That's a form for information. That would be stupid. No, that won't help either. That's a form for stationery procurement. No, not a chance. Not a good idea. Hello, Janet. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the whole of London. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the whole of London. That used to be my weekly ration. Leave them. I don't need those anymore. No darts, no. My darts. I've already taken one this morning. My brown sock? How did that get in here? Is there anything worse than thirst? I'll take it with me. A bottle of apple juice. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. That is no important evidence. A roll of plastic bags. It won't work like that. The green scarf. It's Janet's. That's the bone from Epping Forest. Wrapped up just the way it should be. That won't get me any further. That's the bone from Epping Forest. Nothing's happening. That won't feel different with gloves either. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. Not a good idea. I can't see any connection there. Think first, Brent. There's no point in that. I don't believe it will work like that. That won't feel different with gloves either. That won't feel different. That won't feel different with gloves either. That is no important. 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 That is no 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 it won't work like that. That is no important. That is that is no important. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. That is no important evidence. That is no important. That is no important evidence. That is no important. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. That is no important evidence. That is no important. That is no important evidence. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. That is no important evidence. A roll of plastic bags to see some tufts of grass from the place where the bones were found. In a bag for evidence. Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Well, actually no. I just thought I'd drop in.
Just do me a favour, Brent, and don't keep me from doing my work all the time.
There's no point in that. I'd rather think about it again. There's no point in that. No, better not. I'd rather think I should think that doesn't work. Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Well, actually no. I just thought I'd drop in.
Just do me a favour, Brent, and don't keep me from doing my work all the time.
Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Nice day today, isn't it?
Don't trouble yourself, Brent. I will not go to the cinema with you.
No, Janet. That's not what's on my mind at the moment. I've still got your green scarf. You want it back?
Oh, that ugly thing that the department gave me as a present for my birthday. Well, I was hoping you'd either forget it or throw it away. Just keep it, please.
The chief would be very upset to hear that. He picked it for you.
Well, maybe, but it suits you better than me, Brent, if you know what I mean. And now I don't feel like talking to you about this nonsense anymore, so I'll see you later.
Just keep that yourself. Just keep that yourself. Just keep that yourself.
Here you go, Chris. Have a look at this.
A bone. Very likely the right thigh bone. Why are you bringing it here? I had a look at the bones with the forensic squad this morning.
I know, but I've still got a couple of questions about them.
Well, go ahead then.
What sex was the victim?
Judging by the structure of the bones, I think it was male. I'll write that down in my report as well. But I'll tell you right now that you won't get it before the end of the week, Halligan.
You can't tell me more than that about the bones? Chris, that doesn't help me.
There's really no more to say about the bones, Halligan. Just wait for my report. You'll have it all nicely written down then. Or, hang on a moment. If you're really interested, go and see Professor Turner. He was the supervisor of a friend's PhD thesis. That's how I met him. He works in the Anthropological Museum in Oxford. If anybody can say anything about the bones, he can.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
Don't mention it, Brent.
Here you go, Chris. Have a look at this.
A bone. Very likely the right thigh bone. Why are you bringing it here? I had a look at the bones with the forensic squad this morning.
I know, but I've still got a couple of questions about them.
Well, go ahead then.
Did somebody maybe scorch the flesh off the bone?
No, definitely not. That would look different. I suspect that it was rather cut off, or maybe taken off with acid.
Okay, Chris, that's it for the moment.
Okay, Halligan. See you then.
Chris, I've got something else for you. Could you have a quick look at that too?
The weed. Also from the place where the bones were found, I suppose.
Exactly.
Okay, Brent. And what do you want to know about it?
Have you seen something like this before?
You mean, have I seen grass before? Are you trying to pull my leg?
Just smell it.
Smells slightly burnt.
The bones were lying on this grass.
Oh, maybe somebody made a fire on the grass before the bones were lying there. That's not very unusual in parks.
That was no fireplace, Chris. The grass was burnt under the bones and just there.
Well then, maybe the bones got hot.
Can bones get that hot in the sun?
Well, I don't think this is very likely in autumn. But right now, I can't say much more about that either.
Okay, Chris. See you later on. Chris, I've got something else for you. Could you have a quick look at that too?
The weed. Also from the place where the bones were found, I suppose.
Exactly.
Okay, Brent. And what do you want to know about it?
Do you notice anything about it?
The grass looks slightly burnt, I'd say.
Precisely. I think so as well. Could you check that more exactly for me?
What for? This is plain, slightly burnt grass. I can tell you that without checking it.
I would like to know if there are any special residues on it. Spirit, charcoal, petrol, something like that.
That's an easy one. One moment, I'll just have a look at it. Doesn't look like it, Halligan. No traces of incendiaries. It's not burnt that much.
How old are the burning traces?
I would say they aren't older than... 24 hours.
Okay, Chris. See you later on.
Just keep that yourself. Just keep that yourself.
I'd like to sit on this bench here all day, but I don't have the time. I'd like to sit on the... My gloves. Closed due to renovation works. Great. And now? Closed due to renovation works. Great. And now? Locked. It won't work like that. I'd like to sit on this bench here all day. Doesn't look busy at all. Anthropological Museum of Oxford. This is the right place. Telephone charges of British Telecom, so nobody forgets how expensive it is to use the phone. I can't hear any dialing tone. That won't help either. It won't work like that. Hey, a phone box. Hey. Telephone charges of British Telecom, so nobody forgets how expensive it is to use the phone. Hey, a phone box, and I don't need a phone card. Hey, a phone box. A bench. Just a rubbish bin. Everything is dark. The museum is bigger than I thought. Everything is dark. The museum is bigger than I thought. These are the beggar's bags. These are the beggar's bags. These are the beggar's bags. Hello, my friend.
Huh?
How are you doing?
What? What do you want?
I just wanted to ask if you're all right.
All right, of course. Everything's all right. Can't you see that?
Why do you drink so much?
Because I'm thirsty. Very thirsty.
Do you still like the taste?
Of course I like it. Dum-dum.
It smells pretty strong, if I may say so. How do you manage to drink that?
I drink everything, mate. From schnapps to aftershave. Most important thing is that it makes you happy.
You don't look too happy, though. Can I have a drop?
Get your own bottle, mate. And get me one as well. My bottle's empty.
There's money in your hat there. Isn't that enough for a bottle of gut rot?
Oh, no. Those pennies wouldn't feed a parking meter.
Why has the museum been closed?
Well, it's been refurbished. At the moment, my business is running really badly.
How much did you, make today?
Well, just a poxy 60 pence.
You're right. You won't get far on that. Have you seen anybody going into the museum?
Yeah. Just this morning, a woman. A young, pretty one.
A woman? You haven't seen a man?
Nah. Only a woman. She comes here every day. Now and again, she gives me a few pennies. Oh, I think she works in the museum.
Ah, a woman then.
So what? What's special about that? There are millions of women running about in this world.
Why has the museum been closed?
Well, it's been refurbished. At the moment, my business is running really badly.
How much did you, make today?
Well, just a poxy 60 pence.
You're right. You won't get far on that. Okay, I must be off now.
Well then, okay. Here, are you crazy? That's mine. Hands off, okay?
I can't do that. That would be... I'd rather think about it again. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. Of course. No, I should think about it again. That won't think first, Brent. I got you something. Here you are.
Oh, what's that, pal?
Apple juice. Naturally cloudy. Lots of vitamin C.
Apple juice? Are you pulling my leg?
Didn't you say you were thirsty?
Are you dense, mister? I want a bottle of cider. Apple juice is alright in the nursery, but I'm not into that.
Why don't you try?
Get lost. Leave me alone. You can drink your apple juice yourself.
I should think about it again. It won't work like that. That doesn't work. It won't work like that. That won't feel different with gloves either. Nothing's happening. These are the rubbish bin smells really bad. A bench. I really don't have the time for a break. Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
What are you doing here?
Are you blind? I'm having a drink.
Why do you drink so much?
Because I'm thirsty. Very thirsty.
Do you still like the taste?
Of course I like it. Dum-dum.
It smells pretty strong, if I may say so. How do you manage to drink that?
I drink everything, mate. From schnapps to aftershave. Most important thing is that it makes you happy.
You don't look too happy, though. Okay, I must be off now.
Well then. Okay.
Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Can I help you somehow?
Help? Help? Nobody can help me.
Hey, don't despair. Everybody has a hard time now and then. Maybe I can do something for you.
Just leave it. I've lost everything. Everything. No money, no flat, no future. I'm finished. Simply finished.
What do you need most urgently?
What I need a drink. Hey, mightn't you have a couple of pounds for me?
Money? What for?
For the next bottle. This one's empty, and I hate empty bottles.
I understand. Sorry, I got no money on me.
No money, eh? Well, bagger off then, old miser.
Okay, I must be off now.
Well then, okay.
Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Can I help you somehow?
Help? Help? Nobody can help me.
Hey, don't despair. Everybody has a hard time now and then. Maybe I can do something for you.
Just leave it. I've lost everything. Everything. No money, no flat, no future. I'm finished. Simply finished.
Have you tried working?
Listen, mate. Do you want trouble? Are you from the benefit office or something like that? Bagger off, you.
Oh, I didn't want to be impolite. I'm just interested.
Bagger off, pal. You think I'm on holiday here, right?
No, of course not. I just meant...
Go on, save your breath. Bagger off.
Okay, I must be off now.
Well then, okay.
Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Can I help you somehow?
Help? Help? Nobody can help me.
Hey, don't despair. Everybody has a hard time now and then. Maybe I can do something for you.
Just leave it. I've lost everything. Everything. No money, no flat, no future. I'm finished. Simply finished.
What What do you need most urgently?
What I need? I need a drink. Hey, mightn't you have a couple of pounds for me?
Money? What for?
For the next bottle. This one's empty, and I hate empty bottles.
I understand. Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Hey, it's me again.
So what? Haven't you asked enough questions yet? You know more about me than my goddamn mother. Bagger off.
Think first, Bryn. I thought it wouldn't work like that. That won't feel different with gloves either. The beggar's flask. Absolutely empty. Now the flask is half full of apple juice. I got you something. Here you are.
Oh, what's that, pal?
Apple juice. Naturally cloudy. Lots of vitamin C.
Apple juice? Are you pulling my leg?
Didn't you say you were thirsty?
Are you dense, mister? I want a bottle of cider. Apple juice is alright in the nursery, but I'm not into that.
Why don't you try?
Get lost. Leave me alone. You can drink your apple juice yourself.
Some tufts of grass from the place where the bones were found. In a bag, for evidence. I got you something. Here you are.
Oh, what's that, pal?
Apple juice. Naturally cloudy. Lots of vitamin C.
Apple juice? Are you pulling my leg?
Didn't you say you were thirsty?
Are you dense, mister? I want a bottle of cider. Apple juice is alright in the nursery, but I'm not into that.
Why don't you try?
Get lost. Leave me alone. You can drink your apple juice yourself.
No, not a chance. Think first. A matchbox. Still half. It won't work. I can't see any I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't believe it will work. I can't see any connection there. That won't help either. I don't want that. I thought it wouldn't work like that.
Just keep that yourself.
Too dangerous to carry a bottle with some sort of chemical. The bottle is full of dust and fingerprints. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do with this. There's nothing I can... I can't do anything with this. I can't even pronounce the name on the label. Not a good... I should think about it. I should think up something else. Not a... I should think first. I can't see any... that won't... I can't... Not a good... I think that doesn't work. Looks like that. I can't see it. That's futile. I should think up. It won't work like that. No way. That's futile as well. That won't. I thought that. I should think that would be. I don't want. There's no. That won't. It won't work. It won't work. Of course. Not a good idea. I can't see. It won't work like that. No way. Nothing's happened. Looks like that won't. That would be stupid. I don't believe that won't. I don't want that. I don't believe it. No, better not. It won't work. That won't. That won't help. That doesn't work. I thought it. It won't work. That won't get me any further. No. I can't do anything with this. I can't even pronounce the name on the label right.
Halligan,
Yes?
might I ask you what you think you're doing?
I just wanted to borrow your scissors. Just for 5 minutes.
Forget it.
Don't make such a fuss about your blasted scissors. I won't break them.
Oh, you won't break them, Halligan. You'll lose them, mislay them, not bring them back. You'll do with them what you always do with anything you lay your hands on. I am determined not to lose anything ever again, Halligan, especially not to you. Do I make myself clear?
All right then, keep them. I can't see any connection there. Think first, Brent. That won't feel different with gloves either. It won't work like that. That is no important evidence, I'm sure about that. I'd rather think about it again. That won't get me any further. Looks like that won't work. I don't need a signature for obtaining materials. I need one for obtaining information. There's no point in that. Looks like that won't work. It would have surprised me if it had worked like that. No, not a chance. Not a good idea. I should think up something else. That would be stupid. I can't see any... That won't get me any further. There's no point in that. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. No, better not. I don't want that. Looks like I should think about it again. That would be... That won't help either. I'd rather... No, that won't... I can't see... That would be stupid. I'd rather think about it again. That won't get me any... It won't work like that. I don't believe it. I should think about that. I should think about... A flask, half filled with apple juice. There's no point in that. Looks like that won't... It won't work. It would have surprised... That would be stupid. I'm not thirsty. I'd better not. These files are secret. I think Chris needs it. I really don't want to break anything. No, better not. I don't believe it will work like that. Far too hot to touch. Far too hot to touch. That won't get me any further. It won't work like that. No way. Looks like that won't work. If I pull...
Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
The museum is closed. It's being refurbished.
Oh, well, that's bad luck. Why don't you phone him?
My wallet has disappeared. Have you seen it?
Your wallet? No, it isn't here. Was there much money in it?
No, a £20 note and some change.
Well, it isn't here anyway.
Okay, Chris, that's it for the moment.
Okay, Halligan. See you then. Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
I had a look round outside the building.
You only saw the museum from the outside? Man, Halligan, you're weird sometimes. Why didn't you go in?
I couldn't get hold of anybody.
Have you tried the phone? Maybe somebody's still there.
Could I use your phone?
I'm not so keen on that, Halligan. I'm always in trouble with the accounts department. You know what I mean. Why don't you ask Lowry?
Lowry? You must be joking, Chris. You know how badly we get on, don't you?
Especially since this morning, right?
Exactly.
Sorry, Halligan, but I'm convinced you'll solve this problem.
Okay, Chris. See you later on.
Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
The museum is closed. It's being refurbished.
Oh, well, that's bad luck. Why don't you phone him?
It's all right for you. My phone doesn't work properly anymore.
Why don't you go to a phone booth?
I don't have any change to phone.
Well, now you've got a problem. Lost it all gambling again, did you? Hey, that reminds me. You still owe me £30, Halligan. You haven't got it on you by any chance?
No, Chris.
Maybe you'll remember it someday.
My wallet has disappeared. Have you seen it?
Your wallet? No, it isn't here. Was there much money in it?
No, a £20 note and some change.
Well, it isn't here anyway.
Okay, Chris, that's it for the moment.
Okay, Halligan. See you then.
A rubbish bin. Lowry's phone.
What is it this time, Halligan?
I'd really like to know how a braggart like you managed to get a date with Janet.
Well, you know what, Halligan? Women do like a winner, don't they? Little Janet is no exception. We went to the Palace yesterday.
What was showing?
The new Schwarzenegger film.
You know how to handle women, don't you?
Of course. Janet said she found it disgusting, but I know for a fact that she was very keen on it. Women are like that. You understand?
Well, I would have thought that Janet had more sense.
Oh, actually, I think she's got very good sense. That's why she always refuses to let you take her out somewhere. She prefers to go out with a man who doesn't dress in rags dragged out of rubbish bins or eat the same pizza every day.
Did she say that?
The facts speak for themselves, Halligan. You eat pizza in your office, and I go to the cinema with Janet. That's the way things work. Oh, I'm sorry, old boy.
What amazes me is why a woman like her should find your boring stories about cars, sports, and action films so entertaining.
Halligan, I'm sure you didn't come to tell me that. What do you really want?
Could you lend me some change?
You haven't found your wallet, have you? Well, sorry, Halligan, but this is Scotland Yard, not the Bank of England.
The Bank of England is the central clearing bank, Lowry. You can't draw any money there.
Indeed. Just try it somewhere else, then. You won't get a penny from me. What is it this time, Halligan?
Where can I find Detective Stryker?
Stryker? On holiday? Why?
He still owes me some money.
Somebody owes you money? That makes a change. Usually it's the other way around, because you play cards just as badly as you investigate. Well, tough luck for you, Halligan. Stryker isn't here.
I heard he was suspended.
Well, not exactly suspended. Actually, the chief did advise him to take his annual holiday.
As a reward for his outstanding achievements in the skeleton murders, I suppose.
Listen, Halligan, your jokes are starting to get on my nerves. I suggest you leave now. What is it this time, Halligan?
I know that you'll say no, but I have to ask for your help.
You do actually need help, Halligan. But not from me. Try a social worker. Well,
Could I just use your phone?
haven't you got your own telephone, Halligan?
Yes, but there's something not quite right with it.
No dialing tone. Is that it?
Tell me, Larry, what's your extension?
196. You know that.
Yes, right. I just forgotten it. I don't phone you so very often.
Yeah, and that's the way I like it, Halligan. Don't you dare start ringing me up and getting on my nerves.
That's right.
The Chief can explain it to you for certain. Have fun. Scotland Yard Detective Lowry. Hello? Hello?
I'd better leave that here. I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more comfortable. What's wrong again? No dialing tone. I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more comfortable. I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more comfortable. That is no important evidence. Hello, Chief. May I just disturb you briefly?
Halligan, you're a pain in the neck. Are you planning to start doing things just like Lowry did?
Chief, I've been to see Janet. Have these absurd measures been introduced because of me?
Among others, yes. They were introduced for your benefit. Don't you like them?
Are you still cross with me because of that business with the royal family?
Indeed. Yes, indeed, Detective. The press and the inspectorate made my life hell for 8 weeks. You should be grateful that we somehow managed to keep things under control. But those sort of jokes are a thing of the past. You and Lowry will have to ask for my signature before you take a single step. Even if you just want to go to the toilet.
Well then, but you'll be held responsible.
Of course, Halligan. That's what I'm your chief for. And now our nice little chat is over. Get back to work, Detective.
Of course, Chief. Thanks a lot.
Don't get stroppy, Halligan.
Chief?
What is it now, Halligan?
Couldn't you think again about the security regulations?
Are you deaf? I said no. Now get out.
Excuse me, but I didn't quite understand all the points of the briefing. Could we just go through it again?
My God, Halligan, do we really have to repeat it 3 times?
I'm really sorry, Chief. I was slightly distracted this morning.
Ha! Only this morning? Well, all right then. What do you want to know?
What mad assassin are you referring to?
Halligan, it's well known that you'd rather read those crazy books of yours during office hours than taking any real interest in the affairs of this department. But it would now appear that you've even stopped reading the newspapers as well. For months now, a killer's been running around in London, taking victims apart and leaving nothing but bones for us to find. You can read about it in any newspaper.
I don't pay too much attention to what the papers say.
You aren't? You should be, Halligan. Really, you should. Then you'd know that your colleague, Lowry, arrested a butcher for the killings. He was murdered in prison 3 weeks ago.
Yes, Lowry told me about it. He thinks he's due for a promotion for his achievements.
Lowry should be grateful he hasn't been demoted to a traffic warden. I've taken him off the case. You can take the file with you, then you'll see what brilliant results he obtained with Stryker's help. Those two have made our entire department an ideal target for those muckrakers from the Sun. I can already see the headlines in front of me. Skeleton murderer strikes again. Jailed butcher, innocent. Scotland Yard groping in the dark.
My case file. My case file. Of course, it can't work like that. The duty roster. A confiscated murder weapon. I don't know this one. Some gangster. These three charming guys are wanted for a robbery at Sotheby's. These three charming guys are wanted for a robbery at Sotheby's. I don't know this one. Some confiscated. I don't know this one. Some gangster. The note says, Instruction 1193, line 18. Office BH to be switched over to internal operation immediately. Scotland Yard, Accounts Department. The note says, that's Jack Terrence. Very nasty. He's wanted for 12 murders. I don't know this one. I don't know this one. The note says, Instruction 11, I don't know this one. I don't know this. I've no idea who that might be. I may have confiscated. The note says, Instruction 11, a wanted person's note. A wanted person's note.
Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
The museum is closed. It's being refurbished.
Oh, well, that's bad luck. Why don't you phone him?
It's all right for you. My phone doesn't work properly anymore.
Why don't you go to a phone booth?
What is it this time, Halligan?
I know that you'll say no, but I have to ask for your help.
You do actually need help, Halligan. But not from me. Try a social worker. Well,
Could I just use your phone?
haven't you got your own telephone, Halligan?
Yes, but there's something not quite right with it.
No dialing tone. Is that it?
That's right.
The chief can explain it to you for certain. Have fun.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry.
What is it this time, Halligan?
I know that you'll say no, but I have to ask for your help.
You do actually need help, Halligan. But not from me. Try a social worker. Well,
Could I just use your phone?
haven't you got your own telephone, Halligan?
I just wanted to try something.
And what, if I might ask? Try to get a dialing tone?
How do you know that?
Someone in accounts has had a look at the department's telephone bills, Halligan, and you're the record holder by a very, very wide margin. Your phone will only work internally from now on. Janet told me that when we went to the cinema. Where do you keep calling to anyway? The Caribbean?
I don't think that's got anything to do with you, Larry.
Oh, yes, okay, of course, sure. It's none of my business. But if you think that you can make your phone calls from here, you're dead wrong.
Chief?
What is it now, Halligan?
Couldn't you think again about the security regulations?
Are you deaf? I said no. Now get out.
Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Well, actually, no. I just thought I'd drop in.
Just do me a favour, Brent, and don't keep me from doing my work all the time.
Hello, Janet. It's me again.
I can see that. What is it? Have you forgotten something again?
Nice day today, isn't it?
Don't trouble yourself, Brent. I will not go to the cinema with you.
Do you think going to the cinema with me is that bad? Okay then, no cinema. Why don't we just go down to the King's pub, have a pint and talk for a bit?
Listen, Brent, I don't feel like going to a stinky cheap pub, drinking watery beer and talking about darts, pizzas and aliens.
Scotland Yard, my employer. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the whole of London. Al's Pizza Palace. 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 Unfortunately, there's no pizza in there. Al's Pizza Palace makes the best pizza in the. Maybe I should tidy up that cupboard again. I won't find anything. Maybe I should tidy up that cupboard. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is.
Just keep that yourself. Well, Halligan, how'd you get on at the museum? What did Professor Turner say? Could he help you?
Something I wanted to ask you, Chris. What do those flasks contain?
Oh, you mean those on the shelves? They contain all sorts of different chemicals I need for my work. Indicator solutions, alcohol, things like that.
You've got a great job, Chris. Masses of alcohol and everything legal.
Nonsense, Halligan. Do you think we spend all day getting drunk with medical alcohol? Why don't you just try the stuff?
Sure, no problem.
Here, Brent, to your health. What's up? Go ahead, try it. You won't get one of these so often.
All right, here we go. Cheers.
To your health, Brent. An interesting aroma.
Isn't it? Brent, aren't you feeling very well? Brent, are you sure you're okay?
God damn it. You could knock someone out cold with this kind of stuff, Chris. Chris? Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Some tufts of grass from the place where the bones were found. In a bag, for evidence. That's futile as well. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. I can't see any connection there. I'd rather think, of course. I should think, of course. I don't believe it will work like that. There's nothing I can do with this. I can't do anything with this. I can't even pronounce the name on the label right. No, I can't. I don't. No, I don't. It won't work like that. I can't do anything with. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. I don't want that. Look what we've got here. This is the bottle Chris took. A bottle of ethanol, a flask, brimful with a mixture of apple juice and ethanol. Stop. I don't think it's a good idea to take the bottle out of the lab. Chris will be back quite soon. He'll notice it at once. There's nothing... I've got something for you. Apple schnapps from Detective Halligan's home distillery. My own brand. Would you like to have a taste?
You serious? All right, pal. I'm as dry as the bottom of a parrot's cage.
Why don't you drink it all? I don't mind. And it's a cracker, I can tell you.
Cheers, mister.
Cheers. What shall I pay for? Telephone charges of British Telecom, so nobody forgets how expensive it is to use. What shall I pay for? It won't work without money. Which number am I supposed to dial? Telephone charges of British Telecom, so nobody forgets how expensive it is to use the phone. What shall I pay for? Which number am I supposed to dial? Let's see if the phone number of the museum is listed in here. Museum, okay. Museum of African Studies, Museum of Ancient History. Here, Anthropological Museum. And the extension of Professor Turner? It's here. I've got it.
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
Who am I speaking to?
This is Detective Halligan from Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard? What can I do for you?
I need to speak to Professor Turner. Doesn't he work at the museum?
Yes, but he's away on business.
Where has he gone to?
Kenya. It's a long expedition.
But I really need to speak to him urgently.
Professor Turner will not be available while he's on his expedition. I'm afraid you'll have to wait.
Look, miss. What was your name?
Goodbye, Mr. Halligan.
She's hung up. I thought it wouldn't work like that. You can't get through like that.
Hello?
Hello, it's me again, Detective Halligan.
I told you Professor Turner isn't here.
Yes, but
Detective, I'm very busy. Please call again in 8 weeks.
She's hung up again. Hey, a phone box. And I don't need a phone card. What shall I pay for?
Hello?
Hello, it's me again, Detective Halligan.
I told you Professor Turner isn't here.
Yes, but
Detective, I'm very busy. Please call again in 8 weeks.
She's hung up again. That's the bone from Epping Forest, wrapped up just the way it should be. That's the bone from Epping Forest, wrapped up.
Well, Brent, still got a headache?
Don't ask, Chris.
Have you managed to contact Professor Turner?
Yeah, I phoned him, but he wasn't in.
Not in?
He's on an expedition. I just talked to some woman who works there.
With his extension number?
Yes, exactly.
Well, Halligan, that was probably his daughter Melanie. She works in the museum as well. My friend told me a lot about her. He used to be really keen on her.
So, Professor Turner has a daughter. Thanks, Chris. I think that'll help me.
Are you alright, Halligan? How are you getting on?
Yeah, everything's fine. Thanks. You can't get through like that. What shall I pay for?
Hello?
Hello, this is Halligan again. Please don't hang up, Miss Turner.
How do you know my name, Mr. Halligan?
Chris Hecker told me that Professor Turner's your father.
Yes, that's true.
What do you do at the museum?
I'm an anthropologist.
The same as your father.
Yes?
Miss Turner, do you think you could help me?
That depends. What's the trouble?
I found a bone that I've had examined at the lab.
A bone? A human bone?
Yes, of course. It belonged to a murder victim.
Murder? How awful.
The bone is from the body of one of the victims of the skeleton murders. I take it you've read about them?
Oh, good heavens, yes. What can I do for you?
Couldn't we discuss that inside?
Certainly. Come on over. I'll let you in.
Halligan?
Yes, that's right. Hello, Miss Turner. Nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time.
No problem. We're closed anyway. The museum is being refurbished.
It's not easy to get in touch with you. I was close to giving up.
Oh, you mean because of the phone call? I'm really sorry. I do sometimes tend to be rather short on the phone. You know, I get unpleasant calls sometimes, and that's why I'm a bit suspicious.
I see. Well, I finally got in touch with you.
Would you like to come in? Would you like a cup of coffee or anything else?
No, thanks.
Mr. Halligan, how may I help you?
As I said, I'm working on the skeleton murders. We found another victim in Epping Forest. All the evidence points to the same culprit as in the other cases. The corpse was completely skeletonized. Professional work.
That's horrible. But how can I help you?
My colleague Chris Hecker of the Forensic Lab has already had a look at the bones. He thought that your father could perhaps carry out some additional tests. He is a renowned expert, after all.
Yes, he could do that. But as I said, my father isn't here.
I know, but it is very urgent. Perhaps you could have a look?
You say you've got some of the bones with you?
Yes, just one. Here.
This is a femur.
Yes, that's what Chris Hecker said as well.
It will take some time, Mr. Halligan. Could you wait a moment?
I would like to ask you some questions about your work, just out of interest. How long have you been working here?
Several years. My father helped me to get the job here at the museum.
Connections are indispensable nowadays, aren't they?
I was the most qualified applicant, but it's not easy to gain acceptance with the old boys of the museum's board when you're a woman. You have to be at least twice as good as the best male applicant.
And you were?
Of course I was. It's been decided that I'll be the head of the museum as soon as my father retires.
When will that be?
In 5 years?
Then you will have achieved a lot for someone your age.
How old do you think I am?
Let's say 29.
Exactly.
What's your father's current research project?
He's in Kenya studying initiation rituals.
What?
The rituals carried out when the childhoods of boys and girls end and they're admitted to the circle of adults.
That was very interesting. Thank you, Miss Turner.
Not at all. I like talking about it. I'm often alone here with my work. It feels good to be able to chat. But now I'll have a look at that bone you brought.
Good.
I can't do that. The wash basin. The wash basin. The wash basin. Father, 2 bottles. Father hates it when I use up all his chemical. Father hates it when I... Father hates 2 bottles of develop... Forbidden archaeologies. My favorite. Excellent research. Very mysterious. Forbidden archaeology. Forbidden... This statue's from North Africa. I think it represents the god of the earth. Can't see a thing. Father's distiller. There's methanol in there. It's sometimes used to clean up relics. Father... These pieces fit together, but my father and I never managed to figure out where they came. These sculptures... This statue's from North Africa. I think it represents the god of the earth. These pieces fit together, but my father and I never managed to figure out where they came from. These sculptures don't belong here. I bought them from a junk dealer for just £20. I ought to take... That doesn't work. Pit, these sculptures don't belong here. I bought them from a... That doesn't help. I don't want... That doesn't work. I don't... I won't get... that doesn't work. I don't think there's no... nothing's happening. I don't want that. I don't want... it won't work like that. Forbidden archaeologies. That doesn't help either. The sheath of a dagger. This dagger needs restoring. That's a stiletto from the late Roman era. The sickle's from England. It could be a Celtic artifact, but we haven't been able to date it yet. A curved dagger. I think Father brought it back with him from Turkey. These stilettos were found during the excavations in Tenochtitlan, which is now Mexico City. These stilettos were found during the pieces of broken vessels, antique muzzle-loader pistols. It must have been practically impossible to aim these things properly. A relief. It's just come back from the restorer. A small Greek statue. A Mexican god. I got this mask. A Mexican god. He's obviously hungry, and only human sacrifices will satisfy him. I got this mask in Central Africa. They wear them for rites that are supposed to cure diseases. Their witch doctors use them to drive away evil spirits. This is from Easter Island. Very mysterious. A death mask. In the Sudan, they put masks like these on warriors who died while hunting. This mask is worn for New Year's celebrations in New Guinea. I'd like to know how my father got hold of this silver mask from Kenya. Masks like this one are worn by tribal chieftains for initiation ceremonies. This Greek vase was given to us by a local resident. She thought the museum would be interested in it, but it's just a cheap imitation from a junk shop. It says "Made in Hong Kong" on the bottom.
Well, did you get anywhere, Miss Turner?
Not really. Not yet, anyway. It'll take a while.
Okay.
That can't work. It won't work like that, I don't think. I can't see it properly. There's some metal residue here. It's gold. There's some metal residue here. I can't see it properly.
Made any progress?
Yes, a little, but I can't quite make it out. Have you got a moment? I just want to check on something.
Sure, no problem. Made any progress?
Yes, a little, but I can't quite make it out. Have you got a moment? I just want to check on something.
Sure, no problem.
I can't think of anything I'd better think about it again. Father hates it. Father hates it when I use the wash basin. That won't get me any further. It won't work like. No, better. Would that really be clever? There's methanol in there. It's sometimes used to clean up relics. These are pieces of very old statues. It's not easy to put them together. These sculptures. I can't. It won't work like that. I should try and think. I'd better think about it again. I don't want that. It's gold. It's gold. There's some. I don't think it'll work like that. I don't think it'll work like that. I can't do that. Oh, Melanie, that won't work. I won't get... I should not a good... That can't... No, that... I can't do that. Look, I should try and think of something else. The wash basin. I should try and think of something else. That won't get me any further. Father hates it when I 2 bottles of developer. The sun. It's amazing how many cultures make it one of their goddesses. This image is from Australia. This statue, a relief. It's just come back from the restorer. Not a good idea. That doesn't... I don't want that. That doesn't work. That can't work. Looks as if that won't work. No, not a... That's few... Would that really... I don't think it'll work. It won't... That doesn't work. No, not a good idea. I don't think it'll work. That can't work. There's no point in that. That can't work. Looks as if that won't work. That's interesting. The notches in the bone were made by a sharp instrument. The sickle matches the notches to a T. I don't want that. That doesn't work. That's futile. It won't work like... It's lucky nobody saw that. No, not a chance. That doesn't work. It won't work like that, I don't think. That doesn't help either.
Made any progress?
Yes, a little, but I can't quite make it out. Have you got a moment? I just want to check on something.
Sure, no problem.
This mask is worn for New Year's. I got this mask in Central Africa, a small statue. This is from Easter Island, very mysterious. Nothing's happening. That doesn't work. It's lucky nobody saw. Oh, Melanie, that won't work. The sickle's from England. It could be a Celtic artifact, but we haven't been able to date it yet. There's methanol in there. I would have been surprised if it had worked like that. Oh, Melanie, that won't work. Not a good idea. Hey, let's see. Yes, here it is. An article about the Druids and their sacrificial rites. The latest findings indicate that in ancient England it was probable for for their high ceremonies the Celts usually preferred to use... Incredible. It all fits in with this bone. I'm sure the detective will be very interested. Mr. Halligan? I believe I've found something interesting about your bone.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, this bone was worked on.
With a sickle?
Yes, and probably with a sickle made of gold.
What makes you think that?
The bone bears notches matching the cutting form of a sickle to a T, and I found a trace of gold in one of the notches.
A golden sickle? Who would use a weapon like that in order to cut a human being to pieces?
That's what I asked myself as well. I found an interesting article which could help us. According to the historian Arthur Blake, the Britannic Druids carried out very bloody sacrificial rites. He found out that such rites took place at major celebrations of the Celts. He assumes that consecrated golden sickles were used for those rites.
And how does he know about these things?
He learned about it from old inscriptions he's translating at the moment. Interesting, huh?
Celts? Druids? Quite some time has passed since then, hasn't it?
Of course, but the descriptions in the article absolutely match the findings on your bone, Mr. Halligan. I'm sure the author of the article can help you.
What did you say this author's name was?
Blake. Arthur Blake.
Was there any mention in the article of how you could get in touch with the man?
I thought you'd ask that. His address was printed below the article. 366 Pinewood Road, Northampton.
What do you think? Could this Blake be right?
I don't know. Maybe he just wants to make money with horror stories about ancient Britain, but the bone you've shown me would match his theory quite well.
Have you ever seen anything similar in your career?
Oh, Mr. Halligan, you don't know the Aztec skull walls. If you'd seen those, you'd consider your bone harmless.
Maybe, but that was centuries ago. The victim of this murder was found this morning, and it was found in London. So you think this murder could be a ritual murder?
Yes, it would be possible. There are several occult sects and Satanists. They like checking their history books and adopting archaic rituals.
I would like to ask you some questions about your work, just out of interest. What are all these strange things here in your lab?
They're things my father and I have brought back from various expeditions. They have to be catalogued, will then become part of the permanent exhibition of our museum. Some things are personal presents. We keep those, of course.
You see quite a lot of the world, don't you?
Yes, that's part of my job.
I'm going there now.
Mr. Halligan, I'm interested in this, particularly because of my job. I'd like to help you with your case. Would you take me with you?
Impossible. It's confidential police work. I have to see him on my own. I'm sorry.
I'm sure my knowledge would be to your advantage, Mr. Halligan, and I think it would be really interesting to work on a case like that.
Oh, when I think about it, perhaps that's not a bad idea at all. Perhaps there will be more examinations to be done. Okay, Miss Turner, let's do it like this. I'll keep you informed on the case. If I hear anything new or if I need your help, I'll contact you. What do you think?
All right. I'll see you later then.
Yeah, see you later. And thank you, Miss Turner. This must be it. Pretty out of the way. Mr. Blake's vehicle really is a vintage car, that's for certain. Looks like he made this letterbox himself. Ah, it says Blake. This must be the place. Mr. Blake?
Yes?
My name's Brent Halligan. I'm a detective from Scotland Yard. I have a few questions I need to ask you.
Scotland Yard? What's this about? Is something wrong?
I'd rather we discuss this in private. Do you mind if I come in?
I'm not sure. What's happened? Is there a problem with one of my publications?
No, sir. I'm investigating a murder case. Perhaps you could help me? It really won't take very long.
Murder? How awful. But what's it got to do with me?
Mr. Blake, I'd really prefer it if we could go somewhere a little more private. May I come in?
Well, yes, certainly. Come on in.
An oil painting. Not quite to my taste. Books. A lot of books. And they're almost all historical works. Books. That's a pretty good map of the world, considering how old it is. An old pendulum clock with a Roman face. You're the author of a book on Druids, am I right?
Yes, quite correct. In fact, I'm just working on a revised version for the next edition. But what makes you so interested in my book?
I'm currently investigating a series of murders in London. I've made some interesting discoveries that I'd like to discuss with you.
What series of murders are we talking about?
The skeleton murders. You may have read about them in the papers.
Oh, yes. Of course. Terrible business.
Mr. Blake, I believe there may be some sort of ritual behind these murders.
Well, what makes you think that?
Dr. Turner from the Anthropological Museum in Oxford examined one of the last victim's bones for me. She found residual traces of gold on it and round notches.
Round notches, you say?
Yes. Does that mean anything to you? Doesn't your book on Druids mention ritual killings, for which a golden sickle was used?
True. Are you saying these murders are based on the same ritual?
That's what I've come to ask you.
But that's impossible. It can't be true. It's... My God. It would be unthinkable. It would confirm all my translations. I've been researching the history of the Druids for 30 years now. But I've never yet found proof of my greatest fears.
Your greatest fears?
Yes, the perfection of the final ritual. The final confirmation of the Druids' power.
Tell me more about the Druids.
Well, the Druids were Celtic priests. They were highly respected scholars, responsible for preserving the Celtic religion and science. Their main tasks included conducting sacrificial rituals, medicine, astronomy, and justice. Experts now believe that Druidism began in ancient Britain and spread from there to the European continent, especially to Gaul. The first definite evidence of the Druids' existence goes back to 500 BC.
That's a long time ago.
Quite. And for at least 500 years from then on, The Druids were the most important class of Celtic society.
What happened then?
Well, with Britain and Gaul being conquered by the Romans, the Druids were quickly suppressed. Their doctrine was abolished and replaced by Roman tenets. In the end, Christianity took over. And by around 1000 AD, Druidism seems to have vanished.
What did the Druids and their followers believe in?
Well, that's not so very easy to explain. Like the Romans and the Greeks, the Celts had a number of gods to whom various functions were ascribed. They paid homage to these gods with rituals and sacrifices. Many of their cult rituals were performed for the stars and the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Their religious acts always took place in forests, usually in a clearing or at some other prominent location. The Druids didn't start building their temples until they had met the Romans.
What were their rituals like?
Well, they mainly made sacrifices on special occasions. Druids would burn plants and twigs to transfer them into the realm of the divine.
That doesn't sound so terrible.
No, but they also sacrificed animals, mostly rams or pigs. Roman writers even mention cruel human sacrifices, crucifixions, decapitations, and regular slaughters on the altar.
What? Oh, that's horrific.
Not all of these stories are based on definite facts, Mr. Halligan.
I'd like to know more about the four elements.
The Druids regarded the four elements as the material of which the world is made. They invoked the elements and used them for their rituals. There were only three proper elements: air, water, and earth. Fire, the fourth element, existed solely for the purpose of transferring one of the three basic elements into another.
What do you mean?
Well, solids or liquids become gaseous through fire. Gas can be turned into liquid form with the help of fire. Take a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen, for example. Fire, therefore, represents transformation, the transferal of one element into a new condition.
That sounds pretty complicated.
I suppose it does when you first hear it, but it's actually quite simple.
Yes, well, that's what my colleague Chris Hecker always tries to tell me whenever he starts lecturing me about chemistry.
Quite right, Mr. Halligan. I shouldn't bore you with such details.
What's this final ritual all about?
This is the text I wrote down during my travels through England and France. You know, when you travel through the country, you can feel that many locals still believe in the old Celtic customs. A group of farmers in the south of England let me copy the inscriptions on a megalith that stands in a field there. They claim that there used to be a huge Druid temple close to their house, but there's nothing left of it now. Whatever. I managed to translate the text, at least in part.
Okay, Mr. Blake, please come to the point. What does it say?
It says that the last of the Druids saw the fall of their priesthood coming in the year 1000 AD. In the confusion surrounding the final destruction of the order, a demonic superior Druid seized power, using his knowledge of Druid magic, not for the good of his people and to honor the gods, but to submit all of mankind to his rule. In order to secure the survival of the Druids' tradition and to complete his devilish work, he organized a final ritual, transferring the knowledge and power of the last of the Druids to 5 infants. These infants have always been referred to as the inheritors.
Go on.
The inscription says that the ritual was not entirely completed. I've not yet been able to discover why. But from what I've learnt, the inheritors are strong and powerful enough to one day complete the ritual by themselves.
What happened to the Druids after 1000 AD?
Well, that's a good question, Mr. Halligan. Scientists are still arguing on that point. Some suspect that many Druids simply became priests in the Christian church. After all, Christian priests took over the position in society that had formerly been reserved for the Druids. They simply changed their jobs.
And secretly continued their own religion?
That's not unlikely. They certainly influenced the Christian church. That we do know. Some experts believe that the Druids' order never ceased to exist. That's where the myth surrounding the final ritual comes in. It supposedly took place 1,000 years ago.
Right. What have these murders got to do with the myth?
Well, that's just it, Mr. Halligan. I haven't told you the whole story yet.
There's more?
Yes. The inscriptions explain that the Druids' inheritors require the life force of other people to complete the ritual.
I see. And how do they do that?
According to legend, the flesh has to be cut off the bones of living humans and to be eaten. Only then can their life force be transferred.
You mean the victims of these skeleton murders were practically eaten alive by cannibals?
By Druids. Yes.
I don't believe it.
The worst is yet to come, Mr. Halligan.
What? What could possibly be worse than that?
If such skeletons have been found in London, bearing marks of a golden sickle, it can only mean one thing. The inheritors are preparing for the perfection of their final ritual.
Which means?
The myth says, once the ritual has been completed, the world will become a place governed by evil. Dark magic will be unleashed upon the world, and mankind will have but one choice: to obey or to die.
Great. And you really believe all that?
I believe it's possible. You know, Mr. Halligan, I'm not a superstitious man, but I've spent enough time studying Druidism to know that more goes on between heaven and earth than we can possibly imagine.
I quite agree.
You see, and the skeletons that have been found within the past few months fit in perfectly with the Druids' sacrificial rites. The day of the ritual's perfection is drawing near. Of that I'm certain. What we're looking at right now is just the beginning. Before we're through, more people will die, and the inheritors will soon be strong enough.
What can we do about it?
Time is running out, Mr. Halligan. You must find the inheritors and put them out of action.
That's an easy thing to say, but how can I?
There may be a way. During my latest research, I came across something very interesting. If the story I've heard is true, then there's a certain item that was extremely important for the ritual 1,000 years ago.
What is it?
A piece of jewelry mentioned in the old inscriptions. The Amulet of Transformation. You should try to gain possession of that amulet.
The Amulet of Transformation? What's its purpose?
I don't know, Mr. Halligan. Nobody does. All I do know is that the myth says it's important for the completion of the ritual. If you find the amulet, you may be able to prevent the ritual.
How did you find out about the amulet?
My work led to the discovery of a connection between the Druids of Gaul and Britain. It seems there was a small group of British Druids who fled to France when the ritual failed.
What for?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to save the amulet. I found out that a 13th century despotic French nobleman somehow gained possession of the amulet. I found a picture of him in an old archive.
Really? Let me see. Well, he doesn't look particularly friendly. Was he a druid?
Well, he must have had something to do with the Druids, but I really can't tell you how he gained possession of the amulet. However, he is the only clue that I can possibly give you as to the whereabouts of the amulet. I suggest that you make your way to Carmore. With any luck, you may find more clues leading to the amulet there.
All right, Mr. Blake. I'll get going immediately.
Take care of yourself, Mr. Halligan. Good luck.